doing Firefly, I had a list of everything I wanted to do on TV. You know, fly in a spaceship. I wanted to shoot a gun. I wanted to get shot, and I wanted to ride a horse. And in Firefly, I flew a spaceship, got shot somebody, rode a horse, and shot a horse.
List.
Oh, right.
Right? I had to come up with an entirely new list from one episode of that show.
Thank you.
I did, thank you.
I'm glad we all got the same thing.
I know. Well, of course. We all have very similar taste in alcohol.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To you.
Hey guys, I'm Jenna Bush here with the legendary Stan Lee. Oh wait, I'm supposed to call you iconic this time. The iconic legendary Stan Lee. And Nathan Fillion is our guest today.
Only legendary.
Only legendary, not iconic?
Well,
ask the Firefly fans.
We're working on iconic. It's a promotion. There's a ceremony.
I don't even know what the word means, but it sounds good.
Wait, but I mean, your legions of fans would agree. Iconic, legendary.
First of all, I don't like doing interviews particularly with guys who have more fans than I do. So do you mind if we keep this short? And can you get me more of a nobody to sit here with? I mean, the guy is good looking, he's taller, he's more famous. In fact, I'm leaving. How did I get into this?
Well, that's the first thing I want to talk about with you guys is fans, because you guys both have really rabid fans.
Both of them. I got two of them.
You have two? Three. I'm the third. But I mean, they're really crazy. What is the craziest fan moment you've ever had?
Ooh, you go first.
I can't think of any. You go first.
All right, I was signing autographs, and there was this fan off to the side. I'll say older. Nathan, calling me out while I'm signing somebody else's. I'm sorry. Yes, what is it? You know that nude scene you did? There was an episode of Firefly where I showed my butt.
I remember.
You should do more of those. I said, that's really creepy, sir.
It was a man.
It was an older man.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Ah, well, be proud.
Well, I don't have anything that can match that.
Well,
but nobody wants to see my butt, and I don't blame them. But inevitably, I'll be doing autographing, and some person will come up, roll up his or her sleeve. Would you sign your name there so I can get
it tattooed?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And sometimes they
You've arrived.
do it on parts of their anatomy that I'm not allowed to sign there.
Oh.
And so that, I guess, is one of the nuttiest things. Why anybody would want my name tattooed? Maybe they're afraid they'll forget how to spell it. You know?
Yes.
They can always refer to
Your name
it.
is very difficult to spell.
It's very important that people remember how to spell
Do you
it.
sign legendary?
No, I can't even spell it.
Okay.
We're gonna get a stamp for you.
I know.
So legendary, and then you just sign on the line.
Funny.
I like that. All right, so you guys both have been to Comic-Con a zillion times.
Yes.
How do you think it's changed over the years?
Well, it's getting bigger every year.
What's
Harder to get a room.
Yeah.
No, you don't get the room at the Comic-Con. You get the room at the place, the hotel. The Comic-Con is usually in an exhibit hall or something. I don't want you sleeping at the Comic-Con.
But it's huge. That thing's enormous.
You know what I think is the biggest change? When I first started going to Comic-Cons, that was a few centuries ago, it was mostly young kids. And occasionally you'd see an adult because the kid was too young to come by himself.
Right.
Or he dragged his protesting father or mother. Now, it's all grown-ups. It's all adults with an occasional kid because they couldn't get a babysitter.
Yeah.
And it's not just Comic Cons anymore, but you've got movies, you've got television, you've got the internet, music, everything is represented in these. It's really become a pop culture festival now, which I think is great.
Two things, and that's an excellent point. Two things I've noticed too, a lot more suits, a lot more big money industry. There was some huge movie studio or something. There's a lot of big money at Comic-Con. And I'll see things, I feel I'm pretty well versed in the
nerdverse?
Thank you. And I'll see somebody dressed up in a costume and with huge bat wings and horns and things going on, and it's cute and it's thing. And I have no idea who that is, but that's the sixth person I've seen dressed like that. So obviously there's something up there going on that's popular enough that people want to build this enormous costume that I'm sure would take months.
Whether you know what it is or not, you know damn well it costs a lot of money to make that.
Yes, it
thing,
sure
right?
did.
Yeah.
And people are invested. I love the camaraderie, that feeling of community at Comic-Con. That's something that actually I'll get in disguise and I'll do the floor.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, "Oh, I don't have a lanyard for my pass." Someone next to me goes, "Here, I have an extra one." A stranger would just hear me on the escalators as we're going up and they're going down. They go, "Here you go." Just that kind of thing happened all the time, where people just helping each other out. That feeling, that spirit of community. Everybody's having a great time.
Well, tell the truth. You go over to the free hugs people, right?
See what it is. People are.
And I tip.
It's a bunch of people, all of whom enjoy the same things.
Yes.
And they enjoy being together and having fun with these things that they love. When I was a kid, I used to love the movies. That's all there were, movies. And I would have liked it if there was a movie convention where I could have gone and seen the movie stars and the writers and the directors. But they weren't about to come just because of a 6-year-old kid wanting them.
No, right.
Do you think that the internet has given strength to these groups, to these people, that they can unite?
Oh,
They can
absolutely.
unite and arrange and then get to Comic-Con and actually, all right, now we've had all our plans because they've connected. The internet connects these people.
I can see why he's a great actor. I was actually seeing what you were saying. We said these people connecting and doing this.
I talk with my hands
that's
a lot.
Great,
You
know?
do wonderful hand gestures.
I mean,
But-
what a lot of emotion.
But I think I totally agree
should
because,
be an
I'm gonna
actor.
cry.
but I think there are people, like I found out about a group
You're
called.
doing it too.
I am. Oh. I found out about a group called Bronies, or gentlemen who enjoy My Little Pony, and they find each other online. You heard about it?
I just heard about this.
Little. It's interesting. No offense, but a little crazy. So, but people can find each other on the internet now, no matter what you're into.
We suddenly went from comic book conventions to the internet, and I missed the shuffle over. How did that happen?
Oh,
I
well-
was trying to think of something clever to say about comic book. I'm glad we went to the internet because I can't think of anything more to say about the convention.
Well, we were just thinking how the conventions unify people who have the same interests. I'm saying that the internet has strengthened these bonds.
Oh,
People can
absolutely.
find
I
each
get
other,
you.
and when they get to the convention, that's just the culmination of a year long of
Oh, yeah.
making plans on the internet. And hey, well, don't worry, we got a room. You guys can sleep on the floor. We're gonna have a party on Friday night. It's gonna be this place. We made reservations on Saturday. Their weekend is planned.
Oh yeah.
See, another thing about why he's such a good actor. When he was doing that, he was actually hitting the right key, because I can tell that.
Well, okay, I have to bring this up because this is important
No,
to me.
you don't really have
No,
to.
I really, really do. I really do.
Okay.
I swear. I want to talk about Ant-Man and how you should be playing
How do you
Ant-Man.
go from us to Ant-Man?
Because that's another movie that's coming out, and people have been talking about it on the internet.
Is it coming out?
Well, they're working on it.
Hopefully, because I was talking to Edgar Wright back when this was all
Right,
starting.
right.
But there's a bunch of people on the internet who want you to play the role.
Who want him to play Ant-Man? I think he's too big.
I agree.
We need a guy this size.
Oh, right.
You know,
Go on, get out of that one.
here's my. I love when fans are excited about something. I love when they get behind something. But it's a little bit of an awkward position. It's like it's like all your friends pushing a girl on you, saying you'll like her, you'll like her.
They
She's
never
got a
did
great
that to me. They
personality."
wouldn't wish
I
me
don't
on
know
any
that-
girl. I'm sorry.
We'll try that for you. If I was doing an Ant-Man movie,
As you should.
directing or writing I would say, listen, I got an idea as to how it should go, and maybe you shouldn't tell me how I think it should go. Maybe you should trust in my years of expertise. Edgar Wright is a clever man.
Edgar is listened to. I had lunch with him, and we discussed Ant-Man, and I gave him a lot of ideas, which I think he totally ignored. But he's really a sweet guy,
Yes.
and he's very serious about doing this movie. And I suspect he's going to make a hell of a good movie. You have to see it. Even if it sounds crazy, you've got to see it.
It's true.
And of course, I've got to have a cameo in it.
Yes, you do.
That's the most
I
important.
love that, by the way. I'm always, any Marvel movie that comes out, that's the thing that I'm always waiting for, is the little signature, the Stan Lee in there.
Do you prefer being Castle, or do you prefer the other show, the Joss's show?
I gotta say, Castle is a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun to have, and it's an easy show. There's not a lot of stunts and shooting and spaceships or anything like that, so it's not special effects heavy or anything like that. But doing Firefly, I had a list of everything I wanted to do on TV, and it was I wanted to be able to, fly in a spaceship. I wanted to shoot a gun. I wanted to get shot, and I wanted to ride a horse. And in Firefly, I flew a spaceship, got shot somebody, rode a horse,
Your
and shot a
bucket
horse.
list.
Oh, right.
Right? I had to come up with an entirely new list from one episode of that show.
Well, I did want to ask you guys about having like a flawed hero, because that's what Marvel's known for. These are characters you've played. What is it that makes that so important? You know,
Well, I think people can relate to a flawed hero.
Yeah.
Because present company accepted, we're all flawed. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that Spider-Man has been popular all these years.
Right.
Everybody figures that could be me, you know. Except, personally, I don't look that good in a skin-tight red outfit. Take Superman.
Yep.
And I love Superman. I don't
Me
want to
too.
be sued. But he's not flawed. I mean, the guy is perfect in every way. The only mystery about Superman to me, and someday I'll figure it out, if I took off my glasses,
Whoa!
you would not recognize me, would you? When he
I
takes
know.
off his glasses, who is that man?
I know, I've never understood that either. But I wanted to ask you guys, like on Castle and Beckett have finally hooked up. But so when you're building up to a big event, and I know this happens in comics all the time, and you get there, then how do you move on from that spot?
That's the thing. I mean, you're waiting for them to finally do it. You're waiting them to finally get together. That's been the hurdle. All these hurdles to getting together. Well, now you're together, and then again, you can't count on perfection. It'll be great now. Relationships come with all their own problems and all their own hurdles. So it's just a new series of challenges. It's like anytime anybody sets a goal for themselves. They finally achieve the goal, they don't stop everything and back off. They just set a new goal. People never stop. It always just continues. New goals, new challenges.
Thing about it, if you're doing a story and you reach a certain point where it seems to be the final part, there's a trillion things you can do. There could be a bad luck event. They could find out they weren't really meant for each other.
There's that one.
It could be, I mean, that just like life. Except for someone like me who is perfect in every way, the average person never achieves what he or she is really looking for. And even when you get what you think you want, you find that isn't quite what I wanted. If only it were more like this or more like that.
Well, I mean, I'm actually curious, because you guys have gotten to goals that you've set. I mean, you guys have been so successful. What is the next thing?
I don't know. You never
Maybe
know
stuff.
what the next goal is. I got this little company, POW Entertainment, and I'm sure you've already figured out that POW stands for Purveyors of Wonder.
That's what I just learned just now.
And we're working on a lot of projects, movies, television shows, the usual. And out of 1,000 projects, maybe one will actually work out. You never know.
Yeah, just one.
But that's it for me.
What about you?
What about me? My schedule is kind of set, so I've got this whole adventure of Castle ahead of me. It's going to be a couple more years.
Better be.
Yeah, I hope so. But this was my goal: a successful television program. Just sit down and relax into it and have some fun. So that's where I am now. I have no idea what will come next.
Well, I'm
Like
curious.
other people do,
Right?
nobody
know.
knows what's coming.
I don't really have a next I'm gonna do this. I'm kind of comfortable right now in sitting down and relaxing and enjoying the moment.
Well, how's it been being able to take a character like that and develop it over so many years?
Well, I'll tell you, it's the first time I've been able to do something like that. That's not fair. You know what? My first job was a soap opera. I played the same character every day for 3 years. So it's
Wow, I
not
didn't
once a
know
week
that.
for 3 years. It was every day for 3 years. And there are a lot of adventures in soap opera. A lot of things go on. So the executive producer will change out some writers, and now you come in and your script says that you're going to do something that you swore up and down you'd never ever do, and all of a sudden today you're doing it. No explanation. So you'd have to justify what you do. So there was kind of challenges in doing that. That was a lot of fun. But since then, this is the most success I've ever enjoyed, the most longevity I've ever enjoyed. Boy, I had a show last 8 days, a week and a day.
Was it Drive?
That was the one.
I'm still mad about that, by
Right?
the way.
I was having a great time on that show.
It's a cool show.
And it's gone. It's like, oh, it was really going somewhere. Oh, can't go anywhere. But so yeah, so now there's some things happening. I like when characters evolve. I like when the actors and their choices start to inform the writers and the stories, because you can start to see relationships flush out. And that's a lot more interesting. A movie, a fantastic adventure, a little more condensed. But yeah, this kind of, the long journey is a little different.
Well, I told him upstairs I'm not allowed to call my parents when Castle is on.
Oh,
They
really?
answer and say Castle's on, don't call us, and they hang up on me, just
How
so you
about
know.
that?
Here's what I know about your parents,
The ultimate compliment.
right? They have excellent taste.
They do.
Yes.
They do. No, they're not allowed to call me during Castle. So just saying. You know what I'm really curious about, since we were talking about Comic-Con, what would you want to buy on the floor?
More
Oh.
time.
More time.
There's never enough time.
That's true.
That's good.
It's totally true.
They come up with some great T-shirts I always like. Movie memorabilia. There's always a lightsaber that I just, and swords and shields and gauntlets. These knuckled, clawed gauntlets I see sometimes. And I've bought a couple kilts.
Oh, that's awesome.
Those Utila kilts. Those
Yes, I love those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
I'm going to get this guy a gauntlet.
A gauntlet too. See, if I wear a utility kilt, it's pretty much a skirt. So I don't look
There's
as cool.
that, yeah.
It's true. No, I love that you have swords now. Are any of these things on the Castle set?
Any of these? No. We did one episode of Castle where I dressed up like my character from Firefly.
I remember that.
And I took a piece from one of the Firefly sets and I put it on the shelf, the
Oh, that's
bookshelf.
great.
Yep.
Wow.
Just a little Easter egg for folks
I
watching.
remember.
And people caught it.
Oh, I caught
I
it.
couldn't believe they caught it.
I totally got
It was
it.
dark. It was this, like just a silhouette. There it is. I couldn't believe it.
Fans notice everything.
Oh yeah,
They do.
they're good.
They do.
There's different kinds of fan interactions. There's the kind where people see you across the street and go, "Hey, you rock!" Or "You're that guy from TV." So it's like, "Oh, thanks." But when someone quietly says, "Hey, when you did that thing, that really meant something to me, and your work has influenced me." For example, I'm just going to use this as an example. Mr. Lee, I have a very weird sense of comic book justice that suits me really, really well, and it's served me really, really well. I have a sense of what I think heroics are because of my connection to comic books and superheroes. That's affected my life. Thanks for that.
You notice I never interrupt anybody when he's talking like that.
I did notice that.
But it's funny, I get so many people who come up to me and say, I just want to thank you for my childhood. I was so unhappy as a kid and I started reading your books and I blah, blah, blah. And it is touching.
Yes.
Because at the time I was writing these things, I wasn't really trying to be that helpful to people. I was trying to make a living and pay the rent. And then later on to find out that the things you did may have really affected somebody, it's a great feeling. It really is a very warm feeling.
Well, on that very lovely note, we're going to wrap up for the day.
Oh, there's a lot more I could say.
Oh, keep talking.
All right, we'll have to do this again.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you, Stanley. I'm sorry, Legendary. And Nathan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you.
Great seeing you, Nick.
Pleasure.
Thanks
Thank
for
you very
coming.
much. Really.